Good evening, students. Welcome to the new lecture for solution of triangle that we were taking from the last session. So I've already given you 4 lectures. So this will be my fifth video. So SOT 5. Okay, and the remaining portion basically relates to ascribed circles and radii. Ascribed circles and radii. Okay, so basically what do we mean by ascribed circles and radii? So in this case, suppose if I draw a triangle like this, triangle ABC, and I extend these two sides. Okay, if I draw a circle which is touching two sides externally. Okay, so it is touching two sides, this side and this side externally, and this side also on the outside. So this is called ascribed circle. Similarly, if I extend this side and this side, then if I draw a circle like this, which is touching the three sides on the outside. Okay, so these two sides are the circle is touching these two sides after extension, and then this side. And now if I extend this and this, and I draw a circle like this, which is touching these two sides. Okay, so in this case, these three circles which are formed like this, okay, are called the ascribed circles. Okay, they are called the ascribed circles. Their radii, the ascribed circle opposite to A, its radius will be denoted by R1. The ascribed circle opposite to B, which means this, the radius of this circle will be R2. And ascribed circle opposite to C, the radius for this circle will be R3. Okay, so basically we can also define like this, that if I draw external bisectors for two angles, if I draw external angle bisectors for two angles and internal angle bisector for one angle, so the point of intersection where the three angle bisectors meet, two external bisectors and one internal bisector, the point of intersection is called as X center. This point is called as X center. Okay, so in this case we have three ascribed circles whose radii are R1, R2 and R3. Therefore we will have three X centers. Corresponding to R1 we have center I1, X center I1. Then corresponding to this we have X center I2, and corresponding to this we have X center I3. Okay, so these are the three ascribed circles, and correspondingly we have drawn their X centers also and their radii also. Okay, so now we will study some results related to ascribed circles and X centers. Okay, so some important results if you want to study uh, related to radii of X circles, ascribed circles. R1 I can write as delta upon S minus A. Similarly, R2 I can write as delta upon S minus B. And R3 I can write as delta upon S minus C. Okay, so these are easy to prove if I will prove any one of them. So suppose I am proving the first one. So I will start with RHS. So basically RHS is delta upon S minus A. Delta is represents the area of the triangle in this case. So if we apply okay, if we okay, so what we can do here is we can have the triangle like this. Okay, and if I am suppose extending this and I am drawing an ascribed circle like this. Okay, this triangle is triangle ABC, and the center for this triangle is this. Okay, so I can write that area of triangle ABC, area of triangle ABC is equal to area of triangle I1AB. Area of triangle I1AB means area of this triangle. Okay, area of triangle I1AB plus area of triangle I1AC. I1AC. Okay, we have added these two triangles I1AB and I1AC, but I am interested in finding the area of this triangle. Therefore, I need to subtract this area. So which means minus area of triangle I1 BC, minus area of triangle I1 BC. Okay, so area for triangle I1 AB, how we will find? Area for triangle I1 AB, how we will find? Uh, okay, so this, if I draw perpendicular from this will be R1. Now if I draw perpendicular from here to here, this also will be R1. So half base into height. This length is C. So area of this triangle will be half R1 into C. So half R1 into C. Then area of triangle I1 AC. So this is height and this length is B. So half R1 into B. And then minus, subtract, what you have to subtract? Subtract the area of this triangle I1 BC. So this perpendicular is R1 and this length is A. So minus half R1 into A. Okay, so if we take half R1 common, in brackets we will have C plus B minus A. So what you do? You add A and then subtract A. So if we add A and subtract A plus B plus C will become 2S. So 2S minus 2A, and then you can take 2 common and then it will be cancelled out. So it will become R1 into S minus A. So this was what? Area of triangle ABC, which means this is equal to delta. Okay, this is area of triangle ABC, so this is equal to delta R1 into S minus A, which means R1 I can write as delta upon S minus A. R1 I can write as delta upon S minus A. So this is a this is how you prove this result. Similarly, you can prove the other results also. R2 is equal to delta upon S minus B and R3 is equal to delta upon S minus C. Okay, now we continue ahead. There are some more formulae that we need to discuss. R1 is equal to S into tan of A by 2. Okay. Similarly, R2 is equal to S into tan of B by 2 and R3 is equal to S into tan of C by 2. But these two results we can if I will just prove the first result. Okay. Similarly, we can say that the other two results also can be proved. So for the first result we have, if I focus on RHS. So RHS is S into tan A by 2. Now you apply the half angle formula for tan A by 2. So half angle formula for tan A by 2, as we have already studied earlier in this chapter, root of S minus B, S minus C divided by S into S minus A. Okay, so if we cancel root of S, you will be left with root of S in the numerator, which means we get S, S minus B, S minus C. And now you multiply by root S minus A. So if you multiply by root S minus A, in the denominator you will get S minus A. If you multiply by root of S minus A, you will get this expression, and then root S minus A means S minus A becomes the denominator. So you get delta upon S minus A, because this is by Hero's formula, this is equal to delta. And we just now proved that delta upon S minus A is nothing but R1. Okay, so this is what is written in the LHS. Therefore S into tan A by 2 is equal to R1, S into tan B by 2 is equal to R2, and S into tan C by 2 is equal to R3. Similarly, you can say the other two results. Okay, this was quite easy. And then if we continue ahead, we have one more formula which is which relates the circumradius to the x radii. Okay, which means we can relate capital R to R1, R2 and R3. So I can write small r1 as 4r sin A by 2, 4r into cos A by 2, sin B by 2, sin C by 2. Similarly, R2 I can write as 4r into sin A by 2, cos B by 2, and then sin C by 2. And similarly, R3 I can write as 4 times capital R, and then you will have two terms, sin A by 2, sin B by 2 first, and then cos will contain C by 2. So this is how you can relate circumradius, which is capital R to the x radii, R1, R2 and R3. So in this case also we have 3 results, but I will only prove one, because other two you can similarly prove. So I am proving the first result. If I take the RHS, 4r into cos A by 2, sin B by 2, sin C by 2. So what you do, you apply the formula for okay, sorry, actually I have done one mistake. It will be sin A by 2 and then cos b by 2 cos c by 2 will come here. Sin a by 2 cos b by 2 cos c by 2. Similarly, here you will have cos a by 2 sin b by 2 and then cos c by 2, and here you will have 2 cos, so cos a by 2 cos b by 2 and then sin of c by 2. Okay, so in this formula sin a by 2 means root of s minus b s minus c upon bc root. Cos b by 2 means it will be root s minus b upon ac, and cos c by 2 means s minus c upon ab. Okay, so 4r root s minus b root s minus c will become s minus b, root s minus c root s minus c will become s minus c, and root s into root s will become s. Okay, in the denominator you will have root b is b, root a into root a will be a, and root c into root c will be c. So you can write like this: s minus b s minus c upon abc. Now s minus a is missing, so what we will do, we will multiply by s minus a in the numerator and denominator. Okay, so s minus a s minus b s minus c, you can write this as delta square, means square of the area, okay, upon s minus a, and then this 4r you can take in the denominator like this, 1 upon abc by 4r. Now we already know that this also represents the area of the triangle. If I want to write the area, if I want to express area in terms of capital R, then this is the formula. So in place of this you can write delta. So 1 by delta into delta square upon s minus a. So 1 delta will get cancelled, delta upon s minus a, which is nothing but r1. Okay, so this is also I proved quite easily. So 4r, take two, whatever is the, like this x radii is the radius of the circle, x circle opposite to angle A. So for that we will take sine, and for the remaining vertices we will take cos. Okay, so 4r sin a by 2 cos b by 2 cos c by 2. Similarly, if I want to write r2, so for b I will take sine because this is opposite to b, and for a and c I will take cos, and similarly you can write for r3. Okay, so this is how you prove for, this is how you can relate x radii and the circumradius. Okay, so this was some important theory which was remaining. Now something more we will study, that how we can calculate the distance between in center and x centers. Okay, if suppose how to calculate distance between in center and x center. Okay, so I have this triangle ABC. Okay, and we know that the center of the in circle is called in center. So if I draw a circle inside the triangle which is touching the three sides, the center of that will be I. Okay, so I have this, and if I extend these two sides, okay, and I draw a circle which is like this, touching two sides after extending. So this circle is touching these two sides after extending, and this side already. So this will be the x circle, and then the center for this circle will be I1. Okay, so x center. So here I am interested in finding the distance between I and I1. Okay, here I am interested in finding the distance between I and I1. So if we join this distance will be r. Okay, this is angle bisector, so which means this angle is b by 2, because bi is angle bisector. Okay, so if we use this triangle, suppose this point is D, in triangle BDI, if I am applying trigonometry in this triangle, in triangle BDI, sine of b by 2, okay, sine of this angle, sine of b by 2 is equal to r upon bi, okay, which means bi I can write as r upon sine of b by 2. This is simple trigonometry. This is a right angle triangle. This is angle bisector, complete angle is b, therefore this will be half angle, so b by 2. And now you use this, sine theta is perpendicular upon hypotenuse. Okay, so I want to find bi. R is already known to us, so sine b by 2 is r upon bi, which means bi you can write as r upon sine of b by 2. Okay, now what you do, you connect these two centers, means x center and this in center, because we are interested in finding this length. Okay, and now okay, and if I, so basically angle, for finding I1, I want to I want to find this angle, angle BII1. Okay, so if I join this line also, so okay, and this line also. Okay, so this angle will be, this is angle bisector for angle C, so this angle will be C by 2, correct? This angle will be C by 2, and this complete angle is 90 degree. Okay, this complete angle is 90 degree, therefore this angle will become pi by 2 minus C by 2. Okay, this complete angle is 90 degree, this is angle bisector for angle C, so this is C by 2, therefore this angle will be pi by 2 minus C by 2. Now we focus here, these two angles will be equal, angle BI I1, angle BI1 will be equal to angle BCI1, because angles in the same arc, because this is a cyclic quadrilateral. Okay, BIC and I1, this is a cyclic quadrilateral. Okay, these two angles are 90. So if opposite angles are supplementary, okay, so it becomes a cyclic quadrilateral. How this is 90? This is easy to prove. See, this angle is B by 2, this angle is also B by 2. Now this complete angle is pi minus B. This complete angle is pi minus B, but this is external bisector for angle B. Therefore this will be pi by 2 minus B by 2, and this also will be pi by 2 minus B by 2. Okay, so if we add these two angles, this will come out to be 90 degree. Similarly, we can say these two angles are equal, so this will be C by 2 each, and these two angles are equal, so this angle and this angle both will be equal to pi by 2 minus C by 2. So if you add these two angles, it will be equal to pi by 2. Correct. Now opposite angles are supplementary, therefore this will become a cyclic quadrilateral. Cyclic quadrilateral means angles in the same arc are equal. So angle BCI1 will be equal to angle BII1, and angle BCI1 is equal to pi by 2 minus C by 2. This angle BCI1 is equal to pi by 2 minus C by 2. So now we can use this triangle in triangle BII1 and then apply trigonometry. Okay, if you use this triangle in triangle BII1, this is 90 degree. I am interested in finding this length II1. So what I will do, cos of this angle BII1, cos of angle BII1 is equal to base upon hypotenuse. Base is BI upon hypotenuse is II1. Cos of this angle BII1 is equal to base upon hypotenuse, because this is right angle, so BI upon II1. Now cos of BII1 we already know is pi by 2 minus C by 2. So cos of pi by 2 minus C by 2 will be sin C by 2. Correct? Cos of 90 minus theta is sin theta. So cos of pi by 2 minus C by 2 sin C by 2. Now BI I already calculated earlier. So R upon sin B by 2 and then divided by II1. Correct? In place of BI I wrote this expression R upon sin B by 2. So R upon sin B by 2 and then divide by II1. So using this result we get the distance II1 is equal to R upon sin B by 2 into sine of C by 2. So this is how you calculate the distance between in center and x center. Okay, this is how you calculate the distance between in center and x center. R upon sin B by 2 sin C by 2. Okay, so if suppose I am interested in finding the distance II. Okay, so I1 is between B and C, that is why we took sin B by 2 sin C by 2. If suppose I2 will come here, so I am interested in finding the distance II. In that case I will take R upon sin A by 2 into sine of C by 2, and suppose I3, similarly it will become R upon sin A by 2 into sine of B by 2. Okay, so this is how you calculate the distance between in center and x center. Okay, so let's continue with the last topic. Last topic is how do you calculate the distance between two x centers. Okay, in this case I told you how to calculate the distance between in center and x center, and now this is the last part of this video. In this we are trying to find the distance. How do you calculate the distance between two x centers? Okay, distance between two x centers. Okay, so this triangle we already have. Now if suppose I extend this, so one circle will be formed like this. It will touch two sides after extending. So the center of this will be I2. Okay, this triangle is A, B and C. And now if I extend these two sides and I draw a circle like this. Okay, so circle center for this will be I1, x center. So now I am interested in finding this distance. I1 and I2 means the two x centers. Okay, the center of the end circle will be I here. Okay, now I connect these two, sorry. Okay, and then I join here. Okay, so in this case, first of all, this angle, if we join this and if we join this also, so in this case, okay, this angle will be equal to a by 2 because this angle is equal to a by 2. Sorry, the diagram is not proper. Pass through like this. Like this. Okay, this point is I1. Okay, now these two angles will be same, angles in the same arc. Okay, because if we join this angle is 90 and this angle will also be 90. So this is a cyclic quadrilateral. This is a cyclic quadrilateral AI2CI. This is a cyclic quadrilateral. Opposite angles are supplementary. So angles in the same arc are equal. So this angle is equal to this angle. Therefore, this angle is a by 2. Since this is the angle bisector, so this angle is also a by 2. Similarly, if I am interested in finding this angle, for this, in that case, I need to join these two. So this angle and this angle will also be 90 degree each. This is 90, this is 90. So this also becomes a cyclic quadrilateral. So if this also becomes a cyclic quadrilateral, this angle will be equal to this angle. Correct? Angle IBC. Angle IBC will be equal to angle I1C. Angle I1C. Angles in the same arc because this is a cyclic quadrilateral. So angle IBC will be equal to angle I1C. Now angle IBC is B by 2 because this is angle bisector. This complete angle is B. So this is angle bisector. So this is B by 2. So this will also come out to be B by 2. Now this is A by 2. This is B by 2. So we can find this angle. Right? Angle I1 I2. Angle I1 I2. Now sum of these three angles is 180 or pi because this is forming a triangle. So we can apply angle sum property. So sum of these three angles is 180. So or pi. So if we subtract sum of these two angles, pi minus a plus b by 2, we will get this angle. Angle I1 I2. Okay, angle I1 I2 will become pi minus a plus b by 2. Now what you do? You apply sine rule. So in this triangle, in triangle I1 I2, if we apply sine rule, so I1 I2 divided by sine of this angle, correct? I1 I2, so angle opposite to this is this angle, sine of pi minus a plus b by 2 is equal to, take any side, suppose I am taking this side, so I1, then you will take the angle opposite to this side. Angle opposite to this side is a by 2. So divided by sine of a by 2. So in this triangle we are applying sine rule. I1 I2. I1 I2 upon sine of this angle. So this angle is pi minus a plus b by 2. So I1 I2 upon sine of pi minus a plus b by 2 is equal to I1. And opposite to this we have angle a by 2. So I1 upon sine of a by 2. Now sine of pi minus theta is sine theta. So sine of pi minus theta is sine theta. So we can write this as sine of a plus b by 2 is equal to I1. I1 I just calculated in the previous proof. I1 was the distance between in center and X center. So just in the previous result we calculated that it was R upon cos B by 2 cos C by 2. Right? Sorry, R upon R upon sin B by 2 sin C by 2. Right? R upon sin B by 2 sin C by 2 and divided by sin A by 2. So sin A by 2 will come here. Right? So in place of I1 I wrote R upon sin B by 2 sin C by 2 and then divided by sin A by 2. So sin A by 2 came in the denominator. Now what you will do, you multiply this here. So what will I1 I2 become? I1 I2 will be equal to R into sine of A plus B by 2. A plus B we can write as pi minus C because A plus B plus C is equal to pi. So A plus B we can write as pi minus C. So pi by 2 minus C by 2 will become cos C by 2. So R into cos C by 2 divided by sin A by 2 sin B by 2 into sin C by 2. Okay, so I1 I2 is equal to R cos C by 2 divided by sin A by 2 sin B by 2 sin C by 2. Now we know small r we can write in terms of capital R. We can write in terms of capital R as 4R sin A by 2 sin B by 2 sin C by 2. Okay, so this is small r into cos C by 2 is written ahead, then divided by sin A by 2 sin B by 2 sin C by 2. So sin C by 2, sin B by 2 and sin A by 2 will get cancelled. So finally you will be left with 4R into cos of C by 2. So this is the formula for calculating the distance between two X centers. So if I'm interested in finding this distance I1 I2, so it will be 4R cos C by 2 because it is passing through C. If suppose I am interested in finding this, here I3 will come. So if suppose I want to write the formula for I2 I3, so that will pass through A. So in that case the formula will be 4R into cos of A by 2. And similarly if I want to find the distance I1 I3, so that will become 4R cos B by 2. So this is how we can find the distance between two X centers, which means if you draw two X circles and their centers are X centers, so how we are finding the distance between two X centers. Okay, so this was all I had for this lecture, and from the next lecture, I think we'll start a new topic. Okay, so thanks for viewing this lecture.